Hi, it's Michelle Maher here, and I'm here with Beverly D'Amico. Thank you, Beverly, for giving me your time this morning to talk about what we're going through these challenging times and how to keep a positive mindset with pivoting in your business or in life in general. Thank you, Beverly. If you want to just let us know a bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Beverly D'Amico. My company is Diamond Head Marketing. Anti-aging, wellness, and marketing is the three tiers that I help people with. It's all online. I've always had an online business, so this new way of doing business is not really new to me. The only thing that I'm not doing is going out and marketing, going out and networking in person, which I was a member of chambers before, and so obviously that stopped. But a lot of the groups that I'm with are doing online things, which I think is great. And I personally think you get to know people a little bit more because it's smaller groups, and you know, you can get to know people a lot better than versus going to a big networking event with 50, 60 people. And so I'm
Right.
originally from Chicago, lived there, moved out in 79, moved to San Francisco, started my career with United Airlines in sales office, and then moved to Hawaii, and then Miami. So I was in three or four different departments in 23 years in sales, passenger sales, cargo sales, in operations in Honolulu, and then in flight operations in Miami with the pilots for
Oh,
23 years. And then unfortunately after 9/11, they closed the pilot base. So I had the years and the age and the time to retire. So I retired with them, and I kept my flight benefits and my medical benefits. I had three options. So that's the option that I took. Well, 3 weeks after that, they claimed bankruptcy. So unfortunately, I'm getting only a third of the pension that I thought I was going to get.
right.
Had I known that, I might have made another choice, but I didn't, and it is what it is. So I had to reinvent
Yeah.
myself. So I've always been in the direct sales MLM business for 30, 40, about 40 years. So different water filters to whatever. I believe in that concept because you can only do so much. And if you can find a product or service that you like and you can get the right team and you can help train them and guide them, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
So I pursued, I've been in a couple different things. I have like 8 or 10 different products I market right now in the anti-aging and wellness. I also have my property manager's license. I doing consulting on for that. Um, so it's all good. It's just I believe you got to be diversified. I always tell people have a plan B and maybe have two plan Bs because a lot of people, a lot of things can happen. Look what's happening now. People that are been waitresses all their life, they don't have a job, or people who have been so many people, even 30 some years, they're letting them go. I mean, nothing is secure, nothing is
No.
safe, and you don't know too. Like I tell people, let's say you have a job where you're a massage therapist or a hairdresser and you break your leg or your arm and you can't go out. You got to think of things that you can do from the convenience of your home. Use the technology, and a lot of people aren't technology savvy. Well, now is a good time to learn. You
Mhm.
know, get on. There's so many YouTube videos, and there's so many things that you can learn from. Use this time to sharpen your tools and pivot your business and pivot your skills.
Yeah.
Because once things open up, you're going to be busy, hopefully, out there, either physically or whatever. Trying to get some money in your checking account.
Right, totally. I think this is really showing people the the importance of being diversified and having another plan. Uh, I know somebody has a clothing boutique, always wanted to have an online store, just never had the time to set up the online store. It wasn't the priority, because the brick and mortar store was operating and going to that, and you have people and so on. But now, of course, since they've had to close down temporarily, they've had to come up with an online store and launch it pretty quickly. But going forward, we'll have both. We'll have the online store in combination with the brick and mortar. Also, other people who ran conferences, yearly conferences, live conferences, moving those to online, where you'll have an online conference probably going forward again, in addition to the live conference. I don't think it's going to necessarily replace live conferences or live events, but I think it's going to be complementary. I think you're going to see a lot of people choosing to have both, because with online, location no longer matters.
That's right.
You've got the global audience at your doorstep, if depending on who you're looking for and who are your clients. But
oh yeah, I definitely think you can reach so many people. Your reach is further, the cost is less. You don't have to rent those big rooms, that cost that you got to put all this money up front to rent the banquet room, and then you have to guarantee them hundreds of people or whatever your situation is. I mean, and a lot of people are going to really be afraid of being in groups. And it's just like here, now they're saying, yeah, restaurants can open, but you only can have 25 people, 25%. I mean, the restaurant owner still has to pay the same amount for the lease. His utility bills are going to still be the same. So, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of businesses like that aren't going to be able to come back. And they're saying we're going to have a second wave. We're not going to have a vaccine for who knows when. So I just think, we really need to take advantage of these tools that are available right now, because this could be 3/4 of the new normal, the way we do business.
Right, and I agree, and I don't think that there will be the large live events, group events for some time. I know I had tickets this summer for a concert, which I've already had the email that they've rescheduled it for next year. So basically it was July, now it's July. And I didn't notice even the difference until I saw 2021. And I thought, oh, okay. And so all the live events, I had live events where I had vendor tables that were all being canceled, and they've all been postponed. And postponed till, initially they were postponed till June, and now it's gone till September and October. I don't even know if there's going to be events with 500 people in the fall.
Sure.
I don't know. And as you say, people are going to be very wary of being in large groups like that. And I don't think people are going to want to all of a sudden in the fall go into a room with 500 people. So, because like you do say, they're talking about a second wave, which is something quite possible as we start opening up. So you're in Florida, they're starting to open restaurants. Is that what the case is?
Not in my county. I live in Broward County, and they've opened them up in different counties a little bit, but not in the 3 counties.
Oh, it's county specific.
It's the counties, and I guess they look at the numbers on how many people are still sick or how many people are getting infected. I think that's what he's using the guidelines for. But
yes.
There are some beaches open, again, not around me. I think there's some parks open. I live in a community of 8,500 people. It's the 55 and over. I'm on the board of my building, and I'm also on the master management board. And all our pools are still closed. But when we do open them, we're going to have guards there. They're going to have to show their ID. They're going to have to use the distancing. So that's another expense. And people are chomping on the bit about, we want to get in there. We need to exercise in the water. So there's all this controversy about, yeah, we understand that, but we also need to worry about the safety, And then there's that big controversy about, are we going too far? Do we have to use herd immunity? So, it's so confusing out there. You don't know what to believe or what to, all I'm telling all my clients and all my friends, here's what you can do. You got to keep your immune system up, however way that you choose to do that. I have an immune patch with one of my businesses. But, keep your immune system up, make sure you get enough rest, handle your stress, figure out how you need to handle your stress, whether it's meditation, yoga, whatever, and eat clean, because it's so easy to go and buy all the pretzels and all the sweet stuff and all that. So there's 4 things you can do, and you can't count on the government to do it for you. And that's what a lot of
No.
people are looking for, the government guidance. Like, when Trump came out with that Lysol thing, there are people that drank the Lysol. I mean, I don't know if you know about that, but there are people
Yeah,
that
no, I heard about that, and
they take it literally what he says, and he's made some big mistakes, so you just, there's things you can do, and those 4 things are so important. The sleep, especially.
yeah,
A lot
sleep,
of
exactly. Sleep is key. Getting a good night's sleep and adequate number of hours of sleep, and getting out there and exercising too.
Yes,
Getting out for
yes,
walks,
yes.
enjoying nature. Nature also boosts your immune system. Just
Oh,
appreciating and
absolutely.
sitting in nature and being present
Yes.
is also something to
And being
help.
around positive people,
Yes.
I've had to let go of, unfortunately, a lot of my friends and my longtime friends. I have to block them on Facebook, not block them, but we just had disagreements. And because, you got to understand, there's a lot of people that like to stay in the victim role, and
Yes.
they don't want to help themselves. They don't want to do anything. And when they see someone who maybe is positive or is moving on, they don't like that. And so you don't have anything in common with those people. So I've had to find a whole new group of my tribe that you want to hang with and communicate with and be with, and not necessarily all about business, but talk about health, and let's go for a walk, and what are you doing? What yoga classes are you taking? There's so many free things
Oh,
on
there's
the
so
internet.
much. There's so much
Yes.
online. So many people coming. Depending what you want to do, anything you're interested in, this is a great time to, to take this as an opportunity and to grow as a person and to grow as a human being.
Yes.
Your mindset has such a huge part as well in your, overall health and immune system too. And like you say, being around negative people or seeing that negative, I've had to unfollow. I've not used the unfollow option on Facebook before this, but now it's, I'm using it quite often because I don't want to see fear. I don't want to see victim mentality.
No.
I don't want to see bad news or the future's so bleak or any of that stuff. So we can't do anything about the situation in terms of the virus, but we can do a lot in terms of our own thinking and the choices we make. And like you say, keeping a positive mindset and staying away from the negative people and the negative press or whatever is key. and
Yeah.
and looking at this as you're not a victim in this, but rather you have the opportunity to develop skills that you had, wanted to work on, but before the excuse was always I don't have the time. Like for me, like I was saying, sharing before, I've said I'm going to do videos for over a year, but it just wasn't on my priority list. And then once this happened, I knew that I didn't want to get sucked into the fear, so I started doing these interviews. And then I've also done videos for my jewelry as well I finally started it, and
Sure.
it just helps. I think action action helps. Just getting into action
Well,
and
yeah,
doing something
and
productive.
yeah, not beating yourself up. Like, if you're not cleaning your closets out like a lot of people are, if people are beating themselves up because they're not doing things. I think you need to just, you know, find out what's important to you. And if, I mean, and a routine is very important. Each morning I get up, I take my shower, and it's easy not to do that. It's easy to not go fry. There's people that say I haven't taken a shower in 2, 3 days. And, it's a sign of depression. I've been there, done that, you know. So you have to, for me personally, getting up, taking a shower, making a cup of coffee, taking a little walk outside. And before I even turn on my phone, because once I turn on my phone with all the messages and stuff, then it's like, you know, you get sucked into that.
Right.
So I just, and, trying to eat healthy and try not to eat late and, all that stuff. But a routine is real important because it's so easy to just lay in bed all day. It's easy to do that. It's easy
Yeah.
not to take a shower for 2 to 3 days. It's easy to let your hair go gray and complain about it. I've always colored my own hair, so that hasn't changed. But there's girls that have never done that. Well, try it. Go buy a box of something. Try it. You can't, I've always done my own nails. Yeah, every couple months I go and get a manicure and pedicure, but I have all the tools at home and been doing my own. And it's really interesting because a lot of people are finding out that saving them time, it's saving them money. When you have to make that appointment to get a manicure, pedicure, that's like an hour. And then by the time you go to get there and then you come back, it's like 2 hours out of your day. But it's important
True.
to pamper yourself. I mean, if that's what you need to
Yeah.
do. But
Yes.
how
Yes.
convenient is it that you can do it whenever you want, whenever you. So I think a lot of people are seeing different things. There's a lot of positives. Families are spending more time together. I'm single. I don't have any children. I have one sister that lives in Chicago, and that's it. So I do have friends here. I have my two little twin kitty cat girls, and they're my buds. So I'm lucky to have the time to do what I want when I want.
Hmm.
But a lot of people I think are realizing that spending time with family. Of course, there's the pros on that, and a lot of people that are getting divorced because of this. So there's
Yeah,
reasons.
there's both sides of things. I also feel for anybody who's in any sort of abusive
Oh
situation where they're
yes,
stuck with the abuser and stuck at home. But there's the time. I know a lot of people are really appreciating that time that they're getting to spend with their children. I have a friend who has a daughter who is just under 2, so she's now,
oh nice.
what the way that she described it to me is that she now can feel like she's being a mom as
Mhm.
opposed to doing a mom. That's how
It's
she
true.
phrased it, which is true because before this, everybody was go, go, go all the time. And I
Yes.
know for myself, I felt like I never could catch up as well. And we have all the distractions have been removed, external distractions, so that now you can focus on who do you want to be after this? Who do you want to show up as in the world? And
Yes.
and and this is the time to work on that. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
we
It gives you time to think,
Yeah,
analyze.
yeah,
This didn't work, and look at how much better I feel because maybe I can do gardening, or I've learned how to grow my own plant, my own food, or look at, you know, hopefully people are going to come out of this with some accomplishments out of this, not just, oh my God, I can't get through the unemployment. When is my stimulus check coming? You know, so it's all mindset. It all starts up here, but it all starts in your gut because your gut has a lot to do with your mind and again the people that you surround yourself and what you expose yourself to because it's so easy to get into that victim role.
oh, it is for sure, and that's not where you want to stay and not where you want to be. So going forward, I think a lot of people are going to um, decide that they want to do things a little bit differently, whether it be from your own personal perspective or your business perspective or corporations as well. I think they're going to operate differently. They're going to embrace technology and having people work from home and working. They're going to realize people don't have to be in the office to do work.
That's right. And they're going to save money because like even realtor friends that I
Exactly.
know, you don't really need an office. I mean, you can do all your business. If you need to meet someone, you could meet a client at a coffee shop, or there's these virtual offices that you could rent if you needed to.
Yes. True.
I mean, and with Zoom, you can do so many. I used to have my license in California and Hawaii. So you can do virtual tours. A lot of people are buying real estate just via Zoom. I could go in with my phone and walk through your house and show them, this is the kitchen, oh, let me see that kitchen again. And then I go back, well, let me see that stove, give you a close-up of it. There's so many advantages of that. So,
Yes.
but, a lot of realtors aren't computer savvy, not technical savvy. So they're just waiting to go back to the old way.
Yeah,
You
and
can't,
this isn't the time to wait. This is not
no,
the time to wait, because initially, um, we may have thought this was going to be just, shut down for a couple weeks and then everything will go back to normal, but we know it's not going to go back to what it was no matter what.
no, no.
And it's going to be some time before some of the large events and things like that continue. So why not take this time to learn some those technologies so that you can embrace it going forward?
Yes, and I have a friend who can help people if they need to buy computers or printers, even though he's here in Florida, but he can work with you virtually even to go get into your computer and update it or upgrade it or clean it up, because that's another need that people have, and they don't want to call Joe Schmo and end up in, one of these countries that people are doing virtual help. So in case you know of anybody, I was on a conference call with him today, and that's what he's doing. He's helping people, depending on their needs, guide them what they should buy, whether it be phones, whether it be computers, printers, because we need that help. Sometimes you can't get into Home Office Depot and be able to talk to someone about which printer is the best for me, or go online. A lot of people aren't technically savvy but want to use the tools. So
Hmm.
a lot of
Yeah.
times all I need to do is clean up your old computer, get rid of the stuff, and continue to use what you have. So he could do virtual. He's done that for me, and it's a lot of my clients, and it's been great.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
as well. That's true as well. Um, yeah, and I think the other thing you said about not looking at your phone in the morning is something I've heard a lot of people talk about. Getting up and doing your routine, whatever it is, before you sit down and start looking at your phone. That seems to be a key thing that people do embrace.
Yeah, I mean, because you get notifications, somebody messages you, and you would think that that's important. Hopefully, you'd look at that, but then you get on Facebook, because I'm on Facebook 95% of the time, and you can get sucked into seeing what people posted and replying, and
Yeah,
you know,
and it's an hour later and you did nothing.
and you did nothing. Yes, yes. How's the weather there in Canada?
Yesterday we had a really nice day. It was quite warm. It's cooled off a bit here now.
Okay.
It's I think it's kind of, well, considering it's beginning of May, yeah, it's a bit cooler than usual. But at least um at least this isn't happening to us in January when we have really cold temperatures and lots of snow.
Well, I think you
So
just had, I think you just, didn't you just have snow, a lot of snow like last month? Because one of my businesses, Vox, is their main office, and a lot of my business partners are in Canada. And I
yeah.
think she showed a picture of a lot of snow there, like only like a month ago. Didn't you have a
Oh,
lot of?
there was
Yeah.
it wasn't actually like where I'm in Toronto, it wasn't us, but just
Okay.
north. So if she's like
Okay.
Barrie or something like that,
Yeah.
just north, then they had a lot of snow actually. But yeah, so I think a lot of people are really getting out there and appreciating nature and going for walks where they didn't have the time to do it before.
Yeah. And I have a lot of neighbors, in my community. 3,000 of the 8,500 at least are Canadians. So a lot of them left early to go back home. And a lot of them don't know
Did
if they're going
did
to be able to come
did
back.
some stay? Did some stay?
No, a lot of them
But
went. None of them went back earlier than they normally would, because they were worried about getting across the border, and of
yep.
course they had to.
I know.
But
I remember when he, Justin Trudeau said, everybody come
yes,
home. Yeah, yeah. So who knows when they're going to come back? I mean, get to go back. You're right. Exactly.
and that's why. And a lot of
Um,
them are selling their properties because it's like they're getting older, and it's just too much to maintain, and we deal with the stress, because you do have to have a house sitter watch your place, check on it once a week at least, or
yep.
once, you know. That's another thing that that I do too, is, you know, look at people, stop in and check on there so there's no leaks and make sure the air conditioner's working. But yeah, it's changing a lot of things, you know. And then again, there's the chance that people want to get a good deal. They want to buy a place here in Florida. So now is a good time also to buy, because there's a lot of people that are getting getting rid of getting rid of these units. I mean, you could still buy a one bedroom here for 40, 50,000. I mean, very reasonable.
Really? Oh,
Yep. Yep.
hmm.
So,
Well,
you
that
know,
is.
depending on where
Well,
the location of it is in the village and where it's at and the condition. So yeah, it's reasonable.
hmm.
Still reasonable. And you know, but it's just, like I said, everybody I think is reevaluating. I also own a timeshare, which is 20 minutes away from me here, as a good getaway for myself. And a lot of people can't, you know, you get a week, whatever week you choose, and that depends on how much you pay for it. But a lot of people weren't able to come here to use their week, even though they paid in the beginning of the year for that week,
Right.
because I mean, not that it's not, it is open to people who have a week, but a lot of them didn't want to fly, didn't want to drive, sick for whatever reason. So,
hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, it's affected so many things that we just took for granted, unfortunately.
Definitely, yes. And that's the thing. I think we're going to appreciate a lot of things that we did take for granted when we come out of this.
Yes,
Like, you know, just being able to see people in person. I know there's a lot of you know, grandparents not able to see their grandkids except
yes,
through Zoom. They're going to really appreciate that physical connection. And networking events alone, we you know, we're while we're having everything online on
right.
Zoom, it's great, but you still don't have that physical connection, you know,
You know,
in person, and we're going to appreciate that.
a lot of a lot of my business associates in the Vox business, that's Canadian based, used to do big huge events all the time, and that's how they used to sell a lot of one of the products we sell is socks, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things they used to sell and do huge. You have two tables and all, you know, get together and chip in for it. And from what I understand, because my business partner upline is Canadian, and she said events in Canada are different than here in like in Florida, because there's so many of them in Florida, but in Canada there's not that many. So when people go to these events, they really are there to buy, not just to shop. So unfortunately, a lot of people who are used to do these live events in Canada, like and everywhere, they're just having to refocus how they get the word out, you know, because you
Right.
can't do live events. And that those some of the products are a touch me, feel me, let me do the muscle testing on you and show you how it works. And
Yes, I know. I've seen that. I'm
you
yeah,
really
yeah.
can't do that anymore. So it's tough. A lot of those businesses, a lot of people were really going crazy because they liked. I don't personally like to do those events. I mean, I've done them, but it's costly, it's
It's
exhausting,
a lot of work. I
a
know.
lot
I
of
know.
work. So that's why I don't mind doing it if I can get two or three of my business partners together and we all share the cost, and you can make it fun. But to do it yourself, oh, it's tough.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I agree. That's I've done quite a few, and for me, setting up jewelry displays and everything like that,
Yes,
that's takes. I'm always the last one to pack up at a
I
vendor
know.
show. So
Yes,
yeah, it's definitely you know, time to rethink everything and rethink how we're going to go forward with business. I don't know what's going to happen with respect to all these event spaces that will not be having events. Um, Unfortunately, people who were getting married this year as well, who have had to postpone it and things like that, is it's very
yeah,
unfortunate. And restaurants, I mean, it's like you say, even if they are able to open at 25% capacity, how long can they sustain operating like that? You know, it's, I know we've already seen a few closures. One pizza place that was a staple in Toronto, 63 years,
wow,
is closing their doors,
yeah.
and another one that was 40 years is closing its doors too. So
Well, people are getting older now and they're saying, you know what, how much more do we want to work? How much do we want to enjoy life if they're healthy? I think people are
Mhm.
looking at that whole
Yes.
thing too, saying, I'm tired of this and, who knows how much longer I'm going to be around and is it just give it up? Be after
Yeah.
40, 60 years. It's like I said, and you see all the big guys claiming bankruptcy and closing. So it's just, I don't think it's going to affect everybody and in every industry. Even with United Airlines, they're going to be laying off 3/4 of the pilots. I just put a thing on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
Nobody's
they did the
flying.
same here, Air Canada.
Nobody's flying.
They just I think they just said that they're gonna have problems for 3 years.
Yes.
They're not gonna be able to make a profit until, they're not gonna be back to where they were for 3 years was kind of their forecast. And who is gonna fly right now? Well, yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be a while for that as well. So we need to seize this opportunity to
Yes.
get creative. This is a time to be creative, and this is also a time when a lot of innovation happens with
Right.
business and how can we use this technology going forward to operate our businesses
Right.
and connect. Like, we do have the technology through Zoom and other web
Yeah.
conferencing, and I think there's even some technology that allows for vendor tables online at a
Oh,
conference, because I did see it. Somebody else was posting it, and it actually had little tables that you could have, like,
really?
and then people go
Interesting.
to visit. And Zoom
Well,
has breakout rooms as well. If you have 100 people on a Zoom, you can break out into groups of five people or something, discuss different topics. So there is the
wow.
technology, so it's how to use it going forward.
Have you done any of those breakout rooms?
I've been in a breakout
Been
room
in one. Okay.
a couple times. And so it's really
Nice.
neat because you have all the people, and then they send you off in this breakout room, and then you have your
Yeah.
discussion. Yeah, and I've had it with two, four, five people, say.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great
Yeah.
option. There's a lot to think about
Sure.
how to, move forward, because people still need things.
Yes.
Like, there's still consumer needs.
Yes.
Um, and it's just, how to
How to get
fill
them,
those.
and you still want to buy them from someone that you again know, like, and trust.
Hmm.
And the way you're going to get to know, like, and trust somebody is doing stuff like we are right now.
Yeah.
Because we can't meet. We probably would never meet since you're in Canada anyway, and I'm in Florida. Maybe we would, but I mean, yeah. So hopefully people are going to embrace it, but there's a lot of people that are fighting it, unfortunately. And I can't afford a computer, I don't have this, I don't have that, but you got to figure it out. Do you guys get are you guys going to get stimulus checks like we are? Do you?
Yeah, the government has really stepped in here
Okay.
to offer support to everybody, even students. But the fact of the matter is, where's that money coming from? It's coming from us. It's coming from us in the future, from taxpayers in the future. So,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
great that it's helping people, but it's not something to be. You shouldn't be focusing on that, as that's like, you shouldn't be relying on it, I guess, is the question, is the issue. You should be trying to figure out how you can grow your business or serve yourself. But definitely, it's helping some of the people, like the hair salons and nail salons and massage therapists and people like that, who do hands-on work, right? They cannot operate right now.
right.
And I don't know, I think they're going to be one of the last ones to open. I'm thinking, because of the, close proximity
Yes.
to you and everything like that. So yeah, the stimulus is definitely, the government has stepped in to help, even with providing rent, some relief for businesses paying rent as well.
Okay.
So it's all being, there's different announcements, and then it's worked on and more details released and things like that. So
So like
yeah.
we're getting $1,200 each, and I got my stimulus check for a single person. Do you got? I think you guys have something that's more than that, though, don't you? For per person, that's already in the works, or being
Oh
sent
yeah,
out?
there is a CERB, which is for self-employed, and it's $2,000 Canadian. But at the same time, our currency has gone down, and
Right.
costs us a lot more to buy US dollars than it used to. So
Well, I know because one of my friends that I do marketing for, my friend Lauren Cohen, she's a Canadian and she's a Canadian attorney and she lives here in Boca near me. And she's doing a lot of pivot and parish. In fact, you might want to tell people they can join her Facebook page for free. It's called Pivot and Parish. And she does a lot of free webinars. And she also helps people, business people, pivot their business. Because getting the money is one thing, but it's make sure that you're doing the right thing with it since it's
with
government
the
money.
money, right? Yes.
And she works with a lot of Canadians who are on here on a visa and a special type. I don't remember the number of it, but it's a visa that you're allowed to be here if you have a business. And now if your business isn't, let's say you own a restaurant and that's not going, then you need to figure out because you only could be here if your business is if you have a
Authorized.
business and it's operating.
Ah, okay.
So
I see.
that's another issue. But we are getting $1,200 for a single person, no matter if you're working or not. I mean, it doesn't mean if you can't work, you're just getting it automatically. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, we don't, there's
Oh,
other
we don't have that. It's you have to be self-employed, and then there's different for EI for people who are employed who have lost their jobs.
well then there's all different programs for that. We have
Yeah.
PPL and all these other things, but no, the government's giving everybody $1,200 for a single person. If you're married, you get 24, and I think it's $500 each extra for each child.
Okay.
So,
Well,
and
it's good that the governments are doing that to help people to get through this time.
yeah,
But we which is why it's important for the economy to start going again so that we don't end up with too many issues so that's it, like you say, you get your money, but what are you going to do with it?
yes, yeah, I put it right back into my business immediately. I bought
Yeah,
since one of my products, the Healy, opened up May 1st. I bought a Healy product, which is going to help me do a lot of different healings and on myself personally. It's a
yeah,
it's a vibrational healing type of little machine, and so I invested it right back into my business. You know,
exactly, so that you can grow it
yes,
and further grow your business. So
but
that's what
there's a lot of
and
people that
that's
are
what it's
putting
for.
pools in, and there's a lot of people that are buying all. I mean, you wouldn't believe the stuff that people are spending it on, which is sad because then the food bank lines are so long. So, I don't know if it was a wise decision to just give it to everybody randomly, or maybe because of how much they made on their taxes to give it out, but it wasn't my decision, unfortunately. But
Yeah, it's really hard to say, and that's the same thing too. The checks that people are getting here as well with it's important to support small business right now,
of course,
and that's what you should be doing with your checks is supporting small businesses, not the big businesses and big companies, but rather looking to see who locally, and that's why it's important to support your local restaurants as well so that they can continue to be there after when they're allowed to open.
but
So
a lot
yeah,
of people feel that, number one, I don't know, want to go buy a carry out. I don't know who prepared it. A lot of these people are working and they shouldn't be working, but they're so desperate for money. Plus,
true.
then you got to tip them more because you feel obligated. So I unfortunately have not done that.
Yeah,
And then there's also the thing about, yeah, you can buy a gift card, but how do you know that that business is going to be open in 6 months?
true.
So there's
True.
different sides of the coin
Yes.
on that. You got to just go with your heart and go what you feel is best. I have not. I just go to Costco or to BJ's, and I probably go to Taco Bell as a little drive-through. But even then, you wonder, even if you're going through Taco Bell drive-through, you're wondering, um, or Chick-fil-A, you're wondering, have they been tested? These people get tested today? So they're not really saying they tested all these people temperature wise.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's hard to, there's so much unknown with the, with the virus as well. So like, it goes back to what you were saying at the beginning. And the main thing is to keep your immune system
yes,
as good as you can. And by those, different ways that you were speaking
yes,
about earlier. So
yes.
yeah. Okay, well, I think we've kind of come up on our time,
Okay.
and so it was great talking to you, Beverly, about everything. I will put your contact information underneath this interview when I put it up into my group
Okay, great, great.
as well. And I guess it's, stay safe and stay
Yes,
healthy,
yes, yes.
and we'll get through this together. We're going
We
to
will.
be
We
more
will.
compassionate human beings going forward. And like you say, the most important thing is who you hang around with and
Yes.
keeping your mind positive. We're not victims. It's a choice, and we can choose to be the best version of ourselves going forward.
And I commend you for doing this, spending. You've done how many of these? 52 already? You've done these
Something
different.
like that. Yep. Yep.
Wow. And
Since
they're all
we
on
started.
and they're all on what site if I wanted to go and look at them?
Okay, so they will be, I put them on my YouTube channel, and then I move them into this Facebook group, and I'll give you the
Okay.
confirmation.
Okay.
Sorry, I will I'll
Send me the
message you
link.
separately with the link
Okay.
and everything so you
Great.
can see it.
Great.
And again, thank you for your time, and
Thank you
stay
for having me. Nice,
stay
nice, nice
safe.
getting to know you too. See you do.
Yes,
Have a
you
great
too.
week. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody.